Have you ever felt like you're pressing against an invisible wall? That quiet, persistent feeling that no matter how hard you try, something's holding you back? Most of us go through our lives carrying a weight we don't even see. It is easy to see how one's background and environment often creates a silent barrier to success in life for many, which establishes limiting beliefs that ultimately shape their reality. The environment or external circumstances in life then collaborates with the established self-belief to create a nasty cycle. Think about how this could be manifesting in your life. It doesn't have to be an exact match and can show up in many ways. Ponder how it shows up subtly or loudly in the decisions you make or don't make, every hesitation, every unfulfilled dream of yours. They whisper you can't so quietly that we mistake the voice for our own wisdom. How inexplicable is that voice in our heads that tells us we can't, and according to what source? But it doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you these walls we use to box ourselves in aren't real? That the barriers you feel are made of nothing more substantial than your thoughts, more specifically, thoughts that were given to you, maybe not chosen by you at first, but eventually you embodied them. Think about that for a moment. The very things holding you back from your full potential were inherited, absorbed through experience, handed down to you by parents, teachers, society, bad times, the media, and entertainment you consume. Everything around us, you didn't consciously select them. Do children ever really stop themselves from doing something they want to do? This is because they have not been programmed yet by society. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are the manifestation of what we've been programmed to think. Those beliefs were installed in your operating system when you were too young to question them and too young to know better. Today, we're going to illuminate what's been hiding in the shadows of your mind. Because once you see these limiting beliefs clearly, you'll realize something profound, that they're just stories. And any story can be rewritten. Limiting beliefs are ideas we hold about ourselves, other people, and reality that bog down our potential and restricts our actions. To put it plainly, if you don't believe you can do something, well, you just won't. This ties back into self-fulfilling prophecies. They're mental frameworks that quietly dictate what we believe is possible and impossible for us. Throughout history, the most transformative minds understood this fallacy. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Buddha taught that our mind creates our world. Even Albert Einstein acknowledged that the only real valuable thing is intuition, recognizing that our beliefs shape what we perceive as reality. These beliefs weren't formed randomly. Remember those moments when someone important to you. Once again, it's usually the ones who can get to us the most. Perhaps a parent, mentor, or a friend made a casual comment about your abilities like, math or such and such subject just isn't your thing, or something like, you're too sensitive, or why are you doing this, come do what we're doing, or even, you're not the main leader type but you'll make a good Robin. These seemingly innocent remarks landed in fertile soil, taking root in your developing mind. Over the course of your life, these seeds had grown into structures of thought, influencing how you saw yourself without your conscious awareness. Feedback from others can quickly turn into seeds that form our identity. This is exactly how we lose touch with ourselves, all just to fit in or please others, but understand, fitting in is what most people try to do. Does that elevate you or get you where you need to go, being just like everyone else? The greatest achievers in history always thought outside the box, but it takes courage. Your neural pathways don't distinguish between the truth of thoughts and repetition of thoughts. The things you constantly hear become your reality not because it's accurate, but because it's familiar. The subconscious mind has no filter for the truth. It looks only for consistency and emotional impact. This is why we can hold deep beliefs that directly contradict our surface-level conscious desires. This is why you might pursue growth while secretly believing you're defined by your past, but it's not true. So think about the ways in which your current identity likes to stay the same for the worse. Remember that the mind likes comfort, no matter if it's right or wrong. It takes effort to change. Don't lose sight of that, but since we understand that, neuroplasticity, the ability for the brain to change completely and in profound ways, is available to all of us. We can be confident in our self-growth journey knowing that we're making an impact. And this is the breakthrough. Your brain can change profoundly and permanently. And this power is yours to take. Every time you learn something new, challenge an assumption, or practice a different way of responding to adversity, you're physically reshaping your brain. This means your limiting beliefs are not permanent conditions of your mind. They're simply well-traveled neural highways that became dominant through repetition. And just as an unused path in a forest gradually disappears, as new paths are formed, your brain can build new, empowering neural connections that eventually become your default way of thinking. The invisible prison that holds you back wasn't constructed in a day, and it won't be dismantled in one day either. But understanding its structure is the first step to mental freedom and true belief. I want you to pause right now and ask yourself a simple but profound question. What do you quietly believe you cannot do or become? Pause the video if you need. Listen for the whispers in your head. We all have them. Notice what rises to the surface when you consider your deepest aspirations. Do you get pushback from yourself? What explanations does your mind automatically give you for why something remains out of reach? Your mind manifests your reality by saying, I'm not the kind of person who someone like me can't. I've always been. I don't have what it takes to. Of course, it's not going to sound exactly like this, but just communicated through your subconscious in your own personal language. These aren't casual thoughts. They're the backbone of your limitations. These beliefs are not facts. They're interpretations, stories you've been carrying so long, they feel like the truth. Remember, the mind doesn't distinguish between a belief formed through careful analysis and one absorbed through emotional experience. Emotions are powerful and is part of what makes us humans so unique, but they often hold us back also. Once an emotional experience and a carefully thought out belief are installed, they both operate with equal force on your perception and behavior. This is why intellectually knowing better usually doesn't create lasting change. The limiting belief continues operating beneath conscious awareness. This explains why so many people remain stuck despite having all the knowledge they need to transform. They've changed their conscious understanding without changing the deeper subconscious operating system of their belief. It's like installing new software on corrupted hardware. The system will continue to malfunction regardless of the quality of the new information. Your beliefs are simply lenses through which you view reality. Change the lens and everything you see transforms with it. Think of it this way. The quality of your life is determined not by what happens to you, but by what you believe about what happens to you. Two people can experience identical circumstances and create entirely different realities based solely on their interpretations. This is why some people go through absolute hell in life but come out of it as such a strong person beyond belief that they can achieve anything they want. They've been battle-tested. And then there are others, at no fault of theirs, who experience the same type of hell and never, ever rise or recover from it. One believes they can change their circumstance, or one believes they are not blocked by their negative experiences. The other believes they cannot get out, they will be forever stuck. Sometimes they even believe over time that they don't deserve better, so they stop trying. These are the mechanics of how consciousness itself works. Your beliefs create emotional states that you sit in. Emotions drive behaviors. Behaviors create results. Results reinforce your beliefs. It's a cycle that can either imprison you or set you free, depending on whether you're conscious of it or not. The moment you realize your limiting beliefs are not factual, but just perspectives you've taken on, they begin to lose their power. What was learned can be unlearned. What was constructed can be deconstructed. And this is where your true power lies. Freedom from limiting beliefs isn't an intellectual exercise. It's a practice, a daily commitment to reshaping your thoughts. Let me offer you a pathway. First, bring awareness to what's been operating in the shadows. Name your limiting beliefs out loud without judgment. Call them out if you have to. Write them down on paper. Look at them on paper outside the echo chamber of your mind. Then challenge each belief with a question to yourself about its truthfulness. Find examples in your own life or other people's lives that prove these limitations aren't universal laws, because they aren't. Next, consciously craft new beliefs that serve your evolution. But don't just jump from "I'm terrible with money" to "I'm a millionaire." This is unrealistic and kind of laughable. Don't be too crazy with your goals in the beginning. Work your way naturally towards that lofty goal of yours. A journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with, you've heard of it before, one step, and then another and another after that. It's a process. Your mind needs believable stepping stones. Perhaps, "I'm learning to make wiser financial choices every day." Or, "I'm committing to the gym for the next 4 days." Then embody these new beliefs through consistent action. Your mind learns through repetition. Like water gradually reshaping stone, the good and valuable work is often the boring work, the work most people don't want to do. This is why you should never follow the crowd. Each intentional action, each intentional thought, each moment of catching yourself in old patterns and choosing the new path are the chisel strokes that carve your new reality. This work isn't always comfortable. New beliefs feel foreign at first, not because they're wrong, but because they're unfamiliar. Your nervous system equates familiarity with safety, even when what's familiar is limiting you. Let me give you a vivid example of this process. Imagine you've spent your entire life believing you're not a creative person. This belief has influenced countless decisions in your life, from the careers you didn't pursue, advice and mentorship you avoided, opportunities you passed on. Now you begin challenging this belief, trying new creative activities and affirming your creative capacity. At first, it feels like wearing someone else's clothes. Uncomfortable, unnatural, maybe even fraudulent. Your mind creates resistance and says, "Who am I kidding? This isn't really me. I'm just pretending." Or "This will never work, I don't see results yet." This is your nervous system fighting to maintain homeostasis, to keep you in familiar territory. But with persistent practice, showing up to the blank page, the blank canvas, the field or court, the office, something remarkable happens in your life. Small successes accumulate, moments of flow state emerge. The new beliefs begin to feel less like an affirmation and more like a recognition of something that was always there in truth. With persistence, what once felt like affirmation becomes conviction. What was a conscious effort becomes a natural instinct. You've seen it like the back of your hand. The new story integrates into your identity, and your reality shifts in accordance. This is all about seeing yourself in the right light, seeing yourself and your capabilities clearly, unobscured by the shadows of outdated beliefs that have never served you. The most profound transformations in life don't come from things outside of you, but from within. You have to ignite that fire and start that internal revolution. Dare to question the limiting narratives you've accepted as truth. Think about any entrepreneur who overcame the belief that business was only for other people. The artist who challenged the idea that creativity peaks in youth. The leader who rejected the notion that power and compassion can't work together. Their external circumstances changed only after their internal thought process changed. This work is both the most subtle and the most radical form of transformation. It happens when you question everything in life. You were born for expansion, so be mobile. Be free as you should be. Your soul requires it, your soul needs it, your soul thirsts for it. Everything else is just a story you've been told, and now you get to tell a new one from your true perspective. This is Mind Odyssey. Thanks for watching. Next, we'll talk about something we all feel, fear, and how this one feeling is something you create for yourself, either right now or in the past. But until then, mull this one over.